Hey everybody, it's Marlon. Welcome to the channel, Marlon's 420. Hope you've had a good Monday. I was just looking outside to see the sun going down here. It's been a beautiful day. After we had the Black Swan event with snow and ice all the end of last week. So anyways, I was wanting to talk about the Crusader Host tonight in the Heresy. The first time that I really remember them being mentioned and having them dealt with in a big way was in the Outcast Dead. And it featured 2 or 3 main characters from the Crusader Host and other people. But real quick, what is it? The Crusader Host was a host of Space Marines from all 18 legions who were living on and centered in the Sol system, and most specifically on Terra, right? And when the Horus Heresy broke out, there was a problem because at least half of them, 9 of the 18, belonged to traitor legions, right? Now, the issue with that was when they first went to go and deal with them, Dorn ordered that pretty much all of the Space Marines from the traitor legions be arrested, along with a whole bunch from legions who were not part of the traitors. He just I don't know. The ones who were completely let go, shockingly, were the Imperial Fists. He does this over and over again, showing massive favoritism and hypocrisy towards his own sons and legion. But when it comes to anybody else, he's got no time, no trust. Even when Conrad and his legion come back into the Sol system, the Imperial Fist and Dorn are not super happy to see them. Now when Dorn actually gets to Corax, that's a different thing a little bit. But the legions themselves, no. But anyways, I wanted to go over the Crusader Host, the first time we really see them in the Outcast Dead, and a couple of the main characters from them, and that book in general. But the first time we really get a sight of them or notice about them is when one of Malcador's, what would you call him? He called him a seer hunter. His name was Nagasena, and he's human, but he was an agent of Malcador. He is a tracker, hunter, whatever you want to call him. And he also, sorry, I got an itch. He also worked with the Silent Sisters and the Black Ships for a good long while before this. And he also has the protection of being a named character, right? So even though he's a human, he still is doing things that probably a non-named human in 40K or 30K or the Horus Heresy would never be able to do. And the first time we get a good look at him is he's leading 3,000 soldiers, a handful of custodies, Black Sentinels, and others, 3,000 in total, to arrest 30 of the Crusader Host. There's 30 of them, and they take 3,000. And if all 30 of the Crusader Host had actually decided to fight when they got there, I don't think 3,000 would have been enough. I think they'd have probably killed them all. Especially if the Thousand Sun leader, his name was how do you pronounce it? Atava? I think it's Atava. But in the books, on the audio version especially, it sounds almost exactly like a father, with an F. But I'm 90% sure it's Atava. And he is one of the leaders of these 30 of the Crusader Host that Nagasena is sent by Malcador and Dorn to arrest. And one of the Black Sentinels with Nagasena wants to just send all 3,000 straight into an attack on the palace area where these 30 are holed up. And Nagasena looks at the Black Sentinel commander and is like, you are an idiot, my friend. If we all try to assault them while they're in their building, in where they've been living for 50 years or whatever, we're all gonna die, basically. So Nagasena decides that he's going to go and try and talk to them, right? And the one that he winds up talking to is Atava, the Thousand Son. And the things we see from Atava throughout the Outcast Dead are absolutely amazing. Like, there's only a couple other Thousand Sons that I should say even come close to him in the feats that we see from him, and Ahriman would be one. But some of the things he does, I don't even know if Ahriman could do, really. Like, for example, one of them, when he's helping everybody at some point after they've been arrested, and after Magnus does his wreathed in Eldritch fire, demon angel spawn through the webway, they all felt that, and there's havoc and panic everywhere, and they use that as a chance to break themselves out. And Atava does so by entering the minds of many of the humans that are working with the Custodes to keep them fed and everything while they're in jail. And he has them turn on the Custodes while at the same time having others unlock their cells, very specific ones that he wants released so that they can go do whatever it is they're trying to do. Specifically, there's a individual who has information from Magnus placed in his mind. And Atava sees this somehow and is determined to get to this person so that he can give this information to the Emperor. That's another thing about a lot of these people from the Crusader Host. They are loyal, like really very loyal, and they're just thrown away and locked up anyways. Another thing that we see him do is one of the Custodes that they kill to get out of the jail they're in, he needs the information that that Custodes has. So even though the guy is almost dead, Atava cuts the fucker's head off and then uses his psychic powers to keep his brain alive. So you have a Custodes who's technically aware and alive, though, being his head carried around by a world eater who's with Atava, whose name, by the way, is Tagore. Or I think it's Tagori. I'm not sure. I think it's Tagori. And that's another one, a main character from the Outcast Dead. And he is the one who fought this Custodes one-on-one when they first broke out. He told this Custodes more than once, when I get out of here, I will end you. Now that Custodes was somewhat injured by the time Tagore got to him, but when he did, man, and the Custodes did technically have the better of him, I think, in the fight for sure. But the nails and then just his absolute bawling out fucking rage is what did it. And when he finally gets the dude, he punches his fist through the Custodes' chest and grabs his spine and yanks it out. And Atava sees that right as he does it, and he's like, damn it, Tagore, now I've got to, and that's when he cuts off the Custodes' head. But Tagore was one of these world eaters who was 100% loyal to the Emperor. He said over and over throughout the Outcast Dead that his main goal, basically, was to get off Terra, go and find his legion, confront his father, And if he had turned against the Emperor and the imperial truth and everything like they say he had, he said, you know, I will do everything in my power to kill my father, my lord, my primarch, myself, if he's done this. And we all know that Angron absolutely had, but Togore is just, he is loyal. So is Atava. And so are most of, if not all. There was another one who was from Horus's legion. And he even said the same thing about Horus. So you have two characters from the space, one being 1,000 Sun, who's been, you know, persona non grata for a while. And then you have another one in Togore, who's a world eater, both extremely capable, both extremely loyal, and both turned to quote unquote sort of enemies based on Malcador's and Dorn's actions. Like, you have all this potential and all these bodies and all these people who are still loyal and still willing to fight for the Emperor to the death, and they could do major damage, and yet their blood and effort and everything is squandered because they're locked away. And Togore is a good example. He has not seen his legion in over 100 years when Dorn and Malcador order his arrest. Also, of the 3,000 soldiers that came to arrest him and the other 30, Togore killed over 300 of them himself. It was not just a surrender. Atava and many others did surrender, but Togore and the World Eaters fought. And Togore is credited with 359, so basically 360 kills. He killed more than 10 fucking % of the whole army that was sent to arrest them. That is fucking awesome. But anyways, that's a quick little introduction to this group and the Crusader Host and some of the people involved in the Outcast Dead. And I wanted to do this video because I'm going to do a deeper dive into all this real soon, probably the next video, because it's just so interesting. And seeing characters like Atava and Togore just so loyal and their potential just thrown away is another example of like the Imperium sort of shooting itself in the fucking foot. But anyways, if you've read The Outcast Dead or heard the audiobook, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Be sure and hit that subscribe button at the end screen for us. We'd love to have y'all. We're trying to more normalize. I think we're going to be releasing on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays going forward. I really appreciate all y'all who've joined up recently. We'll also be doing more shorts to accompany the video. To accompany the videos. So be sure and hit that subscribe button at the end, hit that like button, and get down in the comments and let us know what you'd like us to talk about, what you'd like to hear, or let me know your opinions on what you think about the Crusader Host and if Malcador and them were just throwing talent away for no reason like I do. It's just pointless. I'm Marlon with Marlon's 420. Hope y'all are well, be well, and have a great evening. Cheers.